I'm not talking out of turn, and if you don't know them, I feel bad he's yawning. Like, shit, am I boring you, bro?
No, bro,
like,
I'm fucking old nowadays, and we got 3 hours of sleep. What are you talking about?
You've got
we were in
me
the studio
tuned in.
all last
I'm
night.
tuned in, though. I'm in
He
this.
tells the best stories ever. We were until fucking 5 in the morning last night working on this fucking record.
I'm laser focused. Yeah, I'm just like listening. I'm
old.
laser. He's an old man. I told you, the young audience is for him,
bro.
not for me.
Honestly, bro. I'm actually watching his eyes and I'm starting to lower my tone just so I can make him fucking fall asleep like the fucking 18-wheeler in cars. You know what I mean? Like just start moving him from lane to lane.
He's sleeping and I'm focused. I'm like, I'm listening to this shit. Like, where are we going with this?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the coastline of Connecticut and welcome to the Shorecast with your host, Apathy.
I would not have been doing that very authentic narrative voice if I didn't think we were recording.
Do you know?
I would not have wasted that on dead air.
Okay.
Do you know? Do you know that what you said is so deep philosophically? You're focused on the feedback that doesn't exist. That's ill. That's an ill one.
I will tell you where the genesis of even that one comes from.
What? There's a genesis.
Jizza was in the van moving around Los Angeles on the tour of 36 Chambers. And Mojo, who was my man, he was the head of promotion. And as they pulled into either, the Beat or Power, there was a gentleman who is polishing, shoe shine. It was shoe shine, polishing shoes. And Jesus said, damn, polishing shoes just to buy more polish.
Wow.
And that's the genesis of what I just said to you. That's where it comes from.
Wow, polishing shoes just to buy more polish.
And he used some other colloquialisms that a white man can't use. But
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But that's the genesis of that. There's always a genesis of something with me.
Jizz is one of my favorite. I haven't met him, by the way. But Jizz
is that really?
No, not yet. Not yet. I've met most.
Is there
of
a
the guys.
bucket list of MCs that you haven't met yet that you would like really want to meet?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of the Wu-Tang guys. I've only met Ghostface. I've met Inspector Deck. Never met Meth.
Wait a minute. They were just here on tour. You didn't go?
No, I didn't go.
Why?
Because I was sick or something. And I'd seen Wu-Tang before. And I did this whole little video on Instagram about how Wu-Tang is, in my opinion, it was from the podcast.
I saw that.
Yeah. Wu-Tang's the best of all time. But those guys are definitely bucket list. And there's a few people who are bucket list who I haven't met
But
yet.
you're not going to be able to see them again as an entire collective. Like, what did you have?
I don't
What
fucking
level
know.
of sickness did you have that prevented you?
It was enough to prevent me from doing anything.
Like, were you in a coma state?
Here was my thought. I saw when the Wu-Tang concert that I saw at Mohegan Sun was so fucking good that I felt. What's the word? I felt good
complete?
enough.
You felt complete?
I felt complete. I felt good
You're
enough.
a
Like
dick.
I saw it.
You're a
I'm
fucking
sorry.
selfish human being.
I'm sorry, Wu-Tang.
Yo, let
I
me tell
love
something.
you.
That show,
Yeah,
I saw it twice.
really.
So nice. I had to see it twice. And kudos to RZA. Kudos to those guys. I mean, there were just so many moments that were magical based on those guys being magical. But one of the highlights for me, one of those things that I'll now never forget, like one of those, like seeing Melly Mel and KRS battle at the Latin Quarter, right? Like, seeing
You saw that?
Oh yeah, I was in the crowd. I was there. Right? So this is one of these moments. Like
Right.
July 4th, 2025, Wu-Tang's on tour on RZA's birthday in Denver, Colorado. So Serch merch is there. Rap Yard, our people, shout out to Rap Yard. She's there. She's got one of a kind vinyl for the guys as gifts, plus stuff that she wants them to sign. RZA gets a birthday cake from everybody. And it's a big cake. It's like a Costco-sized cake. And he blows out the candles. Meth is holding the cake and tosses it into the crowd. And this cake now is spinning like a Frisbee. And now everybody's watching it, including the Wu. And it's going to land in the first 3 rows.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because actually Rap Yard, I believe, actually captured this, or AJ. Shout out to AJ too on TikTok, by the way. Shout out to OG TikTok too, by the way. As it's coming down, a dude's hand goes up, catches it, doesn't break.
What?
And now everyone, I mean, there's like 19,000.
Cheering like crazy.
No. Dead silent.
Oh, shit.
And Meth goes, yo! And then Ray and they're like, yo! And then I came to bring.
Wow.
And the kid tossed it back in the air and it fell into pieces and people eating it and they're throwing it.
That's dope.
And I almost you know, you and I talked about visceral moments.
Right.
Like I literally was like, wow, I just, on Riz's birthday, just saw something that there's no way you could say could happen twice.
That's crazy.
That Method Man threw a cake the size of Costco in the air, frisbee. And boom. Yo, boom. And I came to bring the pain.
Amazing moment, right?
Yo, incredible.
I've met three
and but going back to what I'm saying, see, you either had to be in a coma, there had to be some disease
for
that was
missing that,
so
right?
Because there's absolutely no it was so well, that whole tour was so well put together. It was absolutely.
You're pushing me to a point of hip hop accountability that now I'm gonna have to answer, because I'm gonna have to answer to it in the fucking comments. That's why.
No. Well, you don't have to do anything because what those people say is none of your business.
For sure.
However,
you told me that, but though.
No, but that's how I live.
Love that.
No, it's true, because ultimately what you and I conversate about, what Al will eventually tap in some point, right? What he'll tap in about, like, ultimately this is for us. Like, what I say to you or you say to me, like, I can't control. Right. So it's like, as soon as it's done, if we're going to be either discussing, challenging, then that's my business. Right. But anything you say is none of my business, even if it's about the topic we're discussing. So if you're a fan, like, and again, I get this, right? Like, the greatest band of all time. Okay. I'll give you an example. If you really believe that they're your favorite band of all time.
Right.
My best friend, Mark, his favorite band of all time is the Grateful Dead. He is 64 years old. He's been to 575 concerts.
What the
And the
fuck?
60th anniversary of the Dead playing in San Francisco, where they started playing their first show, he was there. See,
That's a dedicated fan.
No, but that is a fan. Not
Real
dedicated. There's no adjective.
He's got to have a Jerry Garcia tattoo.
No, he doesn't, but he owns a shirt.
By Jerry Garcia?
Yeah.
Wow. That's
So
wild.
Does
it have any provenance?
It has tons of provenance, bro. Tons. Trust me. And, that's shout out to Serch merch. Real provenance.
Okay.
All right? So, no, but so I laugh. I do, and I'm sorry, I do. I laugh when my homeboys say, oh, I think they're the greatest. Okay, so how many shows do you go to? Oh, well, they were here, but what? But I was sick.
So who's the greatest to you?
What kind of sickness could you have had? Okay, I still do. I shouldn't say loved. I love A Tribe Called Quest so much that I went to see them the year Fife died. I went to see them in Chicago, Pitchfork, because I knew I wouldn't be able to see them anywhere else.
Oh. How long before he passed? How long?
No, it was after. It was 6 months after he passed.
Okay, so the group got together.
Yeah. It was the tour right after that the last album they put out. Yeah.
Let me tell you something. One thing I want to say about that with Fife passing and them, I want to fucking give a standing ovation to Jerobi for everything that Jerobi did during that time period, was stepping up and rocking those shows, man. Salute to Jerobi, man. Gosh, man, he just seemed like one of the most stand-up individuals that I've seen. For him helping out Fife, for him just rocking. I know he's part of the group. He is there, Sometimes why, but still, man. Gosh, Tribe's got to be up there right next to Wu-Tang. I can't answer the question when people go, okay, Midnight Marauders or 36 Chambers. I can't answer that fucking question. I have no idea. But I'll tell you, back to this Wu-Tang thing.
Yeah, please.
And you talking about the cake, because I don't want to lose sight of that. I think I'm too neurotic to have fun. I believe I'm too neurotic to have fun. Because if somebody throws, I don't care. Let me tell you something. If I was at a concert and Michael Jackson and fucking Prince and fucking Biggie and Big Pun were standing up there alive and they shot some champagne or cake, I'd be like, oh shit, what the fuck? I gotta get out of here, bro. God damn, why the fuck would they do that? I wouldn't be like, yeah, this is the most fun ever, and fucking,
No.
I'm too neurotic to have fun.
No, and I think that this dude was, I think he was just genuinely first protecting himself, protecting his own neck.
Protect his neck, yeah.
Right? I think that him catching it, balancing it, like not falling.
That was his moment.
No, I don't think he, I don't.
He was a main character of that
Oh,
moment.
no, I know, but I don't even remember what he looked like. I don't know what race he was. There was just a hand and the cake. But it was meth going, yo.
Comment down below if you guys were at that show right there.
Yo. And then I came to bring.
He's still telling that story to
Yo,
this
shout
day.
out to AJ, exclamation point on TikTok. I know she got the footage, Rap Yard. I know you got the footage. Yo, it's crazy. It was one of the craziest moments I've ever seen at a concert.
Let's talk about Wu-Tang. I want to talk about something, right? So first of all, we didn't even get to this in the beginning. I don't have to talk or tell you guys about how much of a legend this guy is. But what I do have to tell you is how much he meant to me since I was a young kid. And I'll keep this short. I used to have one of those cassette players where, stenographers use it. It's just like a little rectangular thing.
Yeah.
You could press play.
Yeah. Yep.
I walked around, and it was a small little neighborhood in Willimantic, Connecticut. Shout out to Willarico. And it was this small little cassette player, and I walked around playing Cactus Album nonstop, bro. And I used to just go through these fucking batteries, and these guys meant the entire fucking world to me. And so watching Serch's career has just been unreal. He's I think I've shouted out Serch 4 times on a record before I even knew him. Huge deal to me. So you've been a legend. You've done so many legendary things that you've talked about on all these podcasts. But what I'm curious about is the minutia. I like minutia, right? I like the small details that we don't normally think about. We've heard all the big stories. Let's go back to 92. You're doing Return of the Product. And who were you listening to? This is what I'm always curious about. Like, who my heroes? When you leave the studio and you're fucking MC Serch, who are you like, I have to get to the record store right now to buy this fucking tape that just came out in 1992? Who fucks you up? Who gets your goat?
We don't do that. That's what she said.
Yeah. I do time
That's what
out.
she said.
Time out.
No, that's what she said. That's what I do. Because I love pussy so much.
Me too, man.
Yeah,
Me too.
So I don't know. I'm questioning about your pause though.
Pause is hilarious.
No.
Ghostface just did a skit about it, but pause is. There was a time period where I was sick of that shit too. But Cameron and Mace made it really funny again.
Yes,
they made it really.
No,
that's why it's
But I like
hilarious.
time out. Time out's the same.
Pause. Time out. Right. Pause is fun. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Pause is hilarious. It's a funny, stupid game.
But for me personally, it's that's what she said. Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
So let's go 1992.
Right. What you listening to?
So I'm listening. I was just trying to think about it really and just be thoughtful about it. So I'm still stuck on Main Source, Breaking Atoms, listening to Tribe,
Right.
listening to De La Soul,
Okay.
second album, De La Soul is Dead. Listening to Organized Confusion, especially Fudge Pudge.
Yeah.
That was my shit. Stress was okay. Like
Well,
that
that's
was in my record.
Stress is the second album, though.
Yeah.
With Fudge Pudge, on the Fudge Pudge shit, my shit was the weird shit. The releasing hypnotical gases, the prisoners of war.
Prisoners of War was my
Oh,
shit.
God, bro.
Like, but to me, like, and again, like, as much as I like Stress, like, Fudge Pudge, I mean, that record was just, it was just incredible. And OC's verse is just, incredible. I literally ran around the streets of Queens trying to find out who knew where Prince Poe and Pharaoh lived so they could tell me where O lived. So I could like chase him down and be like, yo, I want to make a record with you.
So is that how that started? Because you heard Fudge Pudge?
Oh yeah, no, that's exactly. It was literally I thought Nas, when I heard Live at the Barbecue, like it was unfathomable for me to even think about being involved with that artist. Like I thought for sure everyone had their hooks in him.
You thought he was out of here already as soon as you heard him.
Street's Disciple, my rap's a trifle. Like it was over. It was over. It was over.
Right.
There's only a few times in my career where like I wanted to throw away my rhyme book, and that was one of them. You know what I mean? Like, you know, just he changed.
He ushered a new generation in.
When he elevated. And I, you know, that to me is the word that to me is much more succinct. Like we always say, he changed the game. This one changed the game. No, they elevated the game.
Right.
There was a level of elevation. They didn't change it. They just elevated it. It made it different.
He was the start of the next generation, I think.
Without question. But like then you hear like Buckshot, right? Like and you're hearing like who got the props, you know, the first versions of it before the remix.
How about Naughty?
Early Naughty I was listening to, but not that was really more like 93. Like I was listening to KRS. I was listening to Blueprint. Man.
Blueprint was 93 for sure. But do you remember the first time that you heard Protect Your Neck?
Yeah, I remember Reef, Rob Tulo giving me a cassette.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Shout out Reef.
So my homeboy Ill Bill had a store. His dad had a store right there next to where the Source was.
I didn't know that. I didn't know Bill and them had the dad on the store.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. Just before it was gonna be Yellow Rat Bastard, but like that was his store was right there on like Hudson Canal.
Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah, and Hudson and Broadway. Sorry, not Hudson and Canal. Hudson and Broadway. But yeah, so Bill's dad's store was right there, and the Source was right there, and like Rob had like a handful of cassettes, and I remember having the cassette.
That's dope.
Yeah,
that's dope. Shout out Ill Bill. Shout out my brother Bill. I want to go back to the OC thing. So how does that happen? You hear Fudge Pudge, you try to track him down. Do you get a hold of him through Monch and Poe?
Yeah, Prince Poe.
Wow.
Like he was literally I was literally yelling outside of his house. Because like somebody had said that's where he lived, and like knew
all
who
I picture
was.
is the movie Juice. Hey, Q.
Yo, like, pretty much. Yo, Poe, this your house? Yo, Poe.
That's funny, man.
And and then he told me that had lived in Red Hook. He was in Red Hook. He was in Brooklyn.
Okay, and so when you approached OC, was he receptive? Was he?
No, he wasn't. He at the time he was more interested in like, you know, what was going on with, you know, organized and going on shows and tours and, you know, with all of that. And I think that there was a lot of expectation that, you know, from the Fudge Pudge record that, you know, and then Stress coming out that like, you know, there was going to be a little activity for him. So it took a minute. And then it took, you know, and then making the actual record took a lot of time.
Do you remember him bringing? What was the process of Time's Up? Because I want to pause right here. Everybody
pause.
Yeah, the different kind of pause.
That's what she said.
I try to tell younger people, and this is very important to me. There's a few things
How
that
many younger people actually watch your show though?
There's a lot of
really.
Yeah, I have a huge demographic of young people.
I love that. He's like, yeah, I love
Isn't
that.
that dope?
Me, I draw the young people.
You know, that's good. I have
with your
zero
do
young
rag.
people.
They're
With
like,
your
yeah.
do rag. That's what it is.
Who's that handsome
Your
brother?
wave
All the
cap.
young women are like watching.
So here's what. Whenever I meet with young people or I talk with young people, young artists or whatever, I try to tell them and make sense to them how big of a deal the song Time's Up was at that time period and how much that shaped so many things and what was going on at that time and how that drew a fucking line in the sand and how crazy that was. And I can only imagine having anything to do with that album and press and play and hearing that for the first time.
So the path to that record was easily, and I say this with love, with the most love ever, It was the most arduous, most painful A&R process that I've ever encountered working with any artist ever.
That one record.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Easily. So there was two things that happened. One is right after I signed O, right? Because here was the thing. O didn't have a label coming after him, so he had to make a demo.
Right.
The blessing of that is he had DITC and he had a studio to work out of.
Right.
I think it was almost to his detriment that he didn't have to pay for the demo.
Because he was resting on his laurels?
No. First of all, no. The term resting on his laurels is not the term I would use.
Okay.
Because he made amazing records. They just weren't the right records.
Okay.
But because he had the ability to write and recite, and that's what I love to call it, to write and recite, and because they could always use the 2-inch tapes to just erase, record, because they had the studio and he had the benefit of studio, he made records that absolutely, to me, were not the right records. And the more records that were not the right records, the more frustrated he would get at my ability, and the more he would blame me for holding him back.
Oh, wow.
And I would just say to him, trust me, I'm telling you, when we hear the right one, it'll be the right one.
Did any of those records make the cut for Word Life? Oh,
No.
wow. See,
Not one of them.
It's
Not one of
so
them.
hard for me to wrap my head around this, hearing this.
So here's the process. So
How many records?
I'll get to that. So during the process of OC being signed to Searchlight, I not only sign Nas, but I get Nas done, an album getting ready to drop, and he's still not signed. I thought about doing a label deal for Searchlight at Columbia and utilizing the leverage of Nas to do Nas and OC, and Faith and I still couldn't make that deal work. Like, she just didn't hear it.
Right.
And
she didn't see the vision, you mean?
No. She didn't. We had records.
Right.
And O would say to me, like, yo, play records. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. They're not the right records, but okay. And when Faith was going to sign Nas and got that deal done and blah, 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 I said, oh, why don't we think about this? And I played her records, and she was like, I love O, I love Fudge Pudge, but I'm not hearing the progression.
Right.
And that's what I was trying to explain to O. So during this time, now I'm being courted by Stu Fine.
Okay.
To run Wild Pitch.
Right.
So that's when I was like, yo, Stu, I got to do this record. Like, if you're going to have me sign the company, like, this is the first artist I sign.
That's dope. That's very dope.
So that's how I did my deal with the MI, was like, okay, O's deal. So now O has his deal. And we're still making that are not ready. Now the difference is now OG, now AG, now Showbiz, now Buckwild. Now they got to come place. They got a place to come visit me now.
Right. So they're pulling up like
they couldn't come see me in Long Island at the crib.
Right.
They're at the office.
Yeah.
And
tensions are building.
Yeah.
Yo.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, tensions are building to the point where somebody's getting thrown off the building. Like,
Right.
I've said this now more than 2 or 3 times. Like, I mean, O was really frustrated.
Right.
He, obviously gets his advance, uses it as advance, gets himself settled. Now we're paying for studio time a little bit. And like, really shout out to DITC and Showbiz.
Big up Showbiz.
No, but OG, like all those guys, Eclipse, like early on, like all those guys, like. But my office, when we moved into new Wild Pitch offices, my office had a walkway up to the roof. Because my whole thing was we would just go to the roof and smoke and chill and listen to beats so we wouldn't have to be in the office. There were more than one time that I thought me and O were going to throw each other. One of us was going to get thrown off the roof. Like, but the last time, but
Right.
again, but this is important. You want the minutia.
No, I
I'm
do.
giving you
Yeah,
the
yeah,
minutia.
yeah.
So you asked me an important question. I literally have a tub filled with DATs that say OC demo.
Oh.
I mean, I gotta believe, and again, don't hold me to it. I would love to go through this DAT by DAT. I mean, some of my personal favorites that I remember. I mean, there's easily over 55 songs that he made that never made the album.
Damn.
Easily
That's a
55,
lot.
maybe. I mean, there was records that he was talking about Santeria and I'm like, bro, where? And a lot of those songs, I think he did release on those Word Life re-releases.
Right, yeah. I'm familiar with those.
Yo, those were. He should never have released those.
Master Your High and everything.
Those were at least a little better. But like, anyway, so there were a lot. And the more I said no, the more it was, you're stopping me from eating, you're stopping me from touring,
Right,
you're
I get
stopping
that.
me from, and I'm like, yeah, but trust me. And I said it all the time, trust me. There was one time where they all came and like, I went to my man and I got his 2.5. Like I would have it like, because at least I'm going to shoot 6 of y'all before you throw me off the roof.
Right.
Right? You know, like
Before
at
you
least
get
I'm going to
over.
get this clip off. You know,
Wow.
that's what she said. So I'll never forget this because it was now it was a conglomerate of producers yelling at me, calling me all sorts of names, calling me out my name. I don't remember specifically what they called me, but like, and I'm like, guys, you can call me whatever you want. When you got the right record, you got the right record.
Right.
And then boom, the right record comes.
Well, hold on.
So-
Let's see what the.
So I'm in my office, and Milky, who is our receptionist, says, always coming up to your office. And I was going to try to get, and she said, he's on his way up to your office. So the way my office was situated was I had my desk facing out this way, and my DAT player was over here, and my speakers faced me. And he walks into the office, and I said, yo, is it? And he puts his hand up. And I get up to give him a pound. He pushes me out the way. And he goes to the DAT player. And I'm like, yo, he's like, and he's shushing me like this.
By the
Like,
way,
he's like-
always one of my closest friends. He's my brother. I know the movements that
Right,
he's talking
yeah.
about. I know exactly.
Right.
That's the funniest
Right,
part to
no,
me.
This
right.
is
'cause
I
he's
know
my-
his
yeah,
little.
yeah, right.
his
He's
little
my brother too.
synchronous-
So he's
yeah.
like,
This is getting good.
right. So and he hits the cassette, the DAT player goes in, he presses play. And now he's facing me. Meanwhile, I have pictures I want to show him of like the album cover because at least I have some ideas. And I figure that's going to give us some time. And I got Danny Clinch, who just shot Tupac, Nas. Like,
Right.
I got the best guy in the game who's going to
Right.
do his idea, the fold out and all of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he turns to me and I hear, boom, and the hair, and it's doing it right now. It started standing up, hair on the back of my neck. And then when he said, you lack the minerals and vitamins, all the hair stood up. And he looked at me and said, you were right. 2 weeks later, the album was done. They knocked that whole bitch out in 2 weeks. Everything after that, no main topic,
Damn.
Word Life. He was like, you're right. But here's the part 2 of that story.
Okay.
Right? So, and this is, again, you talk about minutia. So after the record drops, and we're going to talk about the excitement, but I want to talk about something that really was impactful to me and goes back to something Dr. Dre said, which is it's greater later. After, Buckwild does his thing, all of that, everybody goes their separate ways. They're doing their thing, blah, blah, blah. I work on this project with Rostrum called Top Shelf, which was like this 88 project, which was a really dope, like documentary concept idea of like reels from a studio called Top Shelf. And like the reels were stolen and then they found them and there were unreleased records from Craig G, Big Daddy Kane, Chubb Rock that sounded from 1988, but really they were made in 2000 by like this production crew of Benji Grinberg, who goes around Rostrum and his homeboy, right? So we do this whole press release. We even performed on Good Morning America with MC Light, all of this. we have this huge party right downtown on 19. It was the 2018. Everybody's there. Paul Rosenberg, Reef, everybody. I see Buck. I ain't seen Buck at this point. I didn't talk to Buckwild, the producer of Time's Up, for those who don't know. I hadn't seen him in like easily 20 years.
Damn.
Easy. He says to me, "Hey, can we go outside for a second? I want to talk to you." I said, "Sure." And usually when I think it's a producer, it's like either he never got his royalties, somebody somebody owes him money on Time's Up, like, and I'm gonna have to have an answer because I was the executive producer of Time's Up. So I go outside. He says, "Yo, I never really got to properly thank you for Time's Up and your patience." And I said, "Nah, you don't have to." He goes, No, you don't understand. I really have to." He said, "Because of you, I got to do Story to Tell for Big, because Time's Up was Big's favorite record."
Wow.
Dope. That's a dope story.
And when Big saw me, he was like, "Yeah, I got to work with you." And that's how we made Story to Tell, because of Time's Up.
That's crazy.
That's a great connection, man.
So yeah, and he didn't share that with me for another 2018.
I could see Biggie doing a freestyle to that, man, if it had come up.
And I'm sure that was probably part of his, process.
Right.
But, no, it was just really, you talk about like having these accolades or not, but there's certain things that like resonate with me that as a hip hop fan, I'm like, wow. Like, I wonder, I wonder if Sam Sever would have met Cube.
Ooh,
you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
What would have America's Most Wanted sounded like?
With Sam Sever on there.
Right.
Oh my God.
Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just saw Cube recently for the Big 3 finals that they did in Orlando, and he said it to me again. He's like, we talk about it all the time. It's like, Sam Sever was the reason Ice Cube went to work with Bomb Squad. And because Sam didn't show up at Def Jam, he went to the Hollywood Burn session, and America's Most Wanted was made. There's all these little like parts of my DNA that kind of intertwine in hip hop, and obviously Pete has a big part of that as well. But it's all these little things. It's like, oh, I wonder if this would have happened.
The OC, the version with the horns, that wasn't part of the demo, was it? That was something later.
No,
right?
that was it was definitely later. Yeah,
I didn't love it, but it was novel to me. When I got that Wild Pitch sampler that came out.
The cassette or the CD?
Cassette.
Because it's different.
Yeah, for sure.
The cassette and the CD have different
versions, right?
Yeah.
And that was ill to me, and it was interesting. But I listened to it, I was like, oh, that's dope, but I didn't want to hear it anymore. Like I liked the raw version.
Me too.
I liked the version without the horns.
Yeah,
that was an interesting thing. And then there was also there was a difference with the cassette and CD for Word Life with the versions of Let It Slide, because I like the ones with the horns.
Me too.
I love that version, man. That's
I
my
like
those
version.
details. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that was my favorite version. Obviously there was a sample clearance issue, and then we were able to like deal with it, but it was like off on, off on, off on.
Oh, that's why that happened. That's interesting. I never knew that.
Mm-hmm.
That whole album, you and I talked about this last night. That should have been a 5-mic album.
Yeah,
and I don't think that's a crazy take.
So here's the truth. I've never told this story, but this is the true story on why OC didn't get 5 mics. This is the truth.
Wow. So
the biggest supporter of OC at the source was a young female named woman named Minya O.
Okay.
Minya went on to do radio gossip, for different things, but Minya was the writer from the source who really, really was like, yeah, I fuck with O. Like, I fuck with O for real. And they did an in-depth interview and like yada yada yada, and she came to the office, and me and O were hanging out. We went to dinner. She lived uptown, so we dropped her off at her apartment, and O came back into the car, and he's like, "Yo, yeah, Minya just told me I'm getting 5 mics in the source."
Damn.
And I said, "Yo, get the fuck out of here." He's like, "Yeah, nah, man, you just told me I'm getting 5 mics in the sauce."
He must have been excited.
Yo, yeah, I mean, yeah.
You as well.
I mean, yo,
Both
I mean,
of you
no,
like,
I wasn't even thinking about me. I was like, I was thinking about the process of what it took to make that record.
Right.
Like literally the process of what it took to make that record. And him wanting to, I mean, I promise you, I thought he was going to throw me off the roof at least once or twice. You know, I can't feed my baby. You know, he just had a newborn. Like, you know, he was really like, yeah, it was tough. And, but I had to stick to my guns because also for me, it was my first record as an executive producer. And I was dealing with, you know, Puff was in the streets with Craig Mack and Big. And my brother, Chris Lighty, may he rest in peace, he had Tribe and he had L and he had, you know, Biggie. I mean, not Biggie, sorry, Busta.
Right.
And it was me. I had Nas and I had O.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
like
dope.
we're the three fucking musketeers in these streets. We got the three hottest artists.
Right.
So for me, like, that was just the ultimate validation. For him, I didn't care about me. And we had Echo about to pop off. Like, I was like, so I think it might have been a day later, 2 days later. It wasn't like very far. I happened to be, again, hanging out with Bill outside his dad's shop. And I see John Schechter and I see Minya. So I'm like, I see them going upstairs. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to go upstairs. And what was his other dude's name? So it was John Schechter and then the other dude that was wound up being Benzino's partner.
Oh.
Anyway, so it was him, Minya, Reef, and Shecky Green, and John Schechter.
Okay.
And I go up and I give everybody a pound and I go to John and I say, yo, bro, thank you. I thank you so much. Like, I can't tell you what it means to me that you guys, you know, are going to give Word Life 5 mics.
Damn.
And he goes, what the fuck are you talking about? And I look at Minya and her face like she was like,
Couldn't play it off, huh?
nah, like, and I
Too
was
late?
like, and she was like, and then Reef was like, nobody voted on that. We didn't have a vote on that. Who told you that? I was like, nah. Yeah, and
You could have played it off. I'm just saying,
I mean,
it's
no,
worth
no, no.
five
I mean,
mics.
no. I there was no playing it.
None. Nah.
No playing it.
So
And I think like anyway. So I think the 3.5 mics. I know why, right? Like I know the why behind it, but I still think it's fucked up.
you think it's just teach somebody a lesson? Like
That part.
Okay.
I
Wow.
think that it was Shecky Green, and I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I just can't remember the other dude's name.
He's
I'm
on
trying
the
to rack my head.
with
Yo,
with the
and he was-
goatee.
yeah, with the goatee. Dave Mays.
That's
Mays,
it.
Dave Mays.
That's
Dave
it.
Mays.
Dave Mays.
I think it was Dave Mays and Shecky and John Schechter who are like, yeah, we're going to have to teach Serch a lesson, but this industry a lesson. I think, you know, because 5 mics was, it was more important than, you know, 5 stars in Rolling Stone. Like no one gave a fuck about Rolling Stone. We gave everything about 5 mics in the source.
Source. Yeah, that was number
Like,
one.
I mean, that was number one with and it definitely, and whether they want to hear this or not, it affected sales.
Right.
Like that 3.5 mics, it affected sales.
That's how I picked
I mean,
mics.
it
That's
was
how I
really
decided
fucking,
back then.
it
Let me
made
be-
the album fucking mediocre, and that was the last thing that album was.
Let me be real clear that I don't care how anybody feels. 3.5 mics for Word Life is fucking bullshit.
No, it's straight bullshit.
Fucking
It's
bullshit.
fucking straight bullshit. But I will say to their credit, when they did the 100th anniversary, you know, they did that whole, you know, where they said, you know, albums they reconsidered. There was all
Right.
these reconsiderations and the most slept on. I think they did their best to recognize what the street was telling them.
Right.
It was one of the few times, I don't remember a lot of times, and you're more of an aficionado than I am. I don't remember a lot of times where 3.5 mics really got checked like that in the source, right? Like most people, they might inside their own crew, like whatever. But I can tell you, like Nas Down, J. Rooted Damager, Primo, like I know they felt the heat from people who are like, yo, that's some bullshit. Like I don't know.
Sunrises in the East should have been 5 mics too. That's a perfect album. Every fucking the skits, perfect.
So I think a lot of people really reacted to that. And the truth of the matter is that if I would have shut my mouth, or if I would have known, but ultimately if I would have just shut my mouth and let it happen,
it would have slipped through the cracks.
No, not would have slipped through the cracks. It probably would have been voted on as a 5-mic album.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Minya wasn't just talking out of turn. She obviously spoke to, Dennis and Reef and whoever else voted on Maddie C. Shout out to Maddie. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, right. That's why she said that.
You know what I'm saying? So
she knew.
I fucked it up, but I didn't remember. And I want to give the benefit of the doubt. I didn't remember her saying to me, saying to me, we can't say nothing.
Right.
Nobody
was like, keep that under
no. When he told me that she told him, at least that's the way I remember it.
Right.
Again,
30-something years ago.
Something like that. Yeah, but it was an amazing moment because I remember I was in my car. I remember what car I was in. I remember where we were parked. I'm
dying to know what kind of car were you driving at the time.
Oh, it's Green Acura Legend.
Ooh.
Green Acura Legend.
I used to own one too.
Yeah.
You had the fucking the
V8,
the leather interior.
Yeah. But here's the thing: I had the beige leather interior, but I had the sheepskin covers.
Was yours a coupe or a sedan?
Nah, 4-door, of course, because I had a baby. I had a baby in the back. I had to have the 4-door.
Wow,
that was a dope.
The same one that Ludacris still has in gold. I had that one in green, and I put 3-piece Bellas in Charlotte, North Carolina. Drove all the way down and got these 3-piece Bellas. They were beautiful.
I had a Legend too, but not until 98.
Yeah.
Or 97. That was it.
No, 93. Yeah, 93. I had the Act Legend.
Beautiful ride.
Self-titled, and my brother self-titled.
Shout out to Self.
Word up. Big up my brother Self. He was just on here. We killed it.
Yeah.
Self had this question. 2007, you released an online-only album called Many Young Lives Ago, the 1994 session. Was that supposed to be stuff for a second solo album on Def Jam after Return of the Product? What happened with the Def Jam situation?
It's a very good question, Self-titled. So the Mila, the Many Young Lives Ago album was really a collaboration of the Ichabod's Cranium sessions that me and Pete were doing for the unreleased third album that we were going to put out, and solo records from the album Russell didn't want to put out. Now, the Def Jam situation was weird because when I started work, so Return of the Product comes out, critical, success, like Spin Magazine. We got album du jour. It was one of 3 album du jours of the year. Rolling Stone gave it 4.5. Solid. I think I got 3.5 mics in the Source or something on that album too. We had 2 number ones with Back to the Grill and Here It Comes. Touring wasn't great though. I didn't make a lot of money on the road. There was just a lot of negative. So I had an option in my deal that I could start recording a second album as part of my deal, that I could record a second album. So my thinking was, let me record this second album while at least I'm kind of warm. Nas got me kind of straight still in the street. Let me just see if I can make this record happen. So I went to my man Petey Mix. Shout out to Petey Mix, Peter Cooper Schmidt. And we went to his studio in Long Beach, me, Eclipse. And I was already fucking with Riz. You know what I mean? That's what she said.
Big up Riz.
Right.
Big up E.
Yeah. And we started making songs. So Practical Poetry, Daily Commute was part of the Third Base record. But Practical Poetry, there's 3 or 4 songs on there that are definitely part of that solo album for Def Jam. Russell hears the record, loses his mind.
Really?
It's yo, loses his mind. Crazy dope, loses his mind. Yeah, we're going to talk to the lawyers, blah, blah, blah. Cool. I'm working with another lawyer at the time named Tim Mandelbaum on 2 separate things. So I have my lawyer for music and then my lawyer for business, right? Mm-hmm. Tim Mandelbaum says to me, he goes, yo, you're going to get a call from Stu Fine. Stu Fine wants you to run Wild Pitch. Same time I'm waiting for this idea from Russell. So I say, this is crazy story. I get home, Chantel's on the floor, and she's holding a stack of bills. And she's like, we're broke. I don't know how we're going to pay for any of this. We're going to lose the house. And I said, Chantel, Hashem will find a way. Don't worry about it. We're going to figure it out. And the next day I got that offer, right?
Wild Pitch.
For Wild Pitch. So I still don't know if I want to be at Wild Pitch because Wild Pitch is still Wild Pitch. And, you know, it doesn't have the greatest reputation in the world.
What did that mean at that time for people who don't understand that? Because I understand.
So Wild Pitch was notoriously known for not being great to their artists, but also being tone deaf. So a couple of stories that, you know, these are, I'm not talking out of turn. And if you don't know them, I feel bad he's yawning. Like, shit, am I boring you, bro?
No, bro,
like,
I'm fucking old nowadays, and we got 3 hours of sleep. What are you talking about? We were in the studio all last night.
I'm tuned in, though. I'm in
He
this.
tells the best stories ever. We were until fucking 5 in the morning last night working on this fucking record.
I'm laser focused. Yeah, I'm just like listening. I'm
old.
laser. He's an old man.
Like,
I told you, the young audience isn't for him,
bro,
meant for me.
Honestly, bro, I'm actually watching his eyes and I'm starting to lower my tone just so I can make him fucking fall asleep like the fucking 18-wheeler in cars. You know what I mean? Like just start moving him from lane to lane.
He's sleeping and I'm focused. I'm like, I'm listening to this shit. Like, where are we going with this? Yeah, let's go.
No, I'm locked in.
So anyway, so I say, you know what? Let me go sit with Stu. So
wait a minute.
So let me explain
but this
the story.
is to the point.
No,
with
the Wild Pitch,
Chantel thing.
Right, the Wild Pitch.
No, wait. Before that, I don't want to lose this. The reason those bills were stacking up is because what you were saying, the tours weren't hitting.
Yeah, no.
That's why. I just wanted to make that clear.
And there was no money coming in from Nas yet. There was no, you know what I'm saying? Like, so
Okay.
she was like, and Chantel's background as a kid in Queens was like borderline homeless. Like, you know, she came from a place where she like didn't know if she was going to have a roof over her head the next day.
So she had that fear kicking in.
Yeah, of course. And I wasn't worried.
Right.
I was not worried. Like not, and like to this day, like that's the last thing I worry about is money. Like it's never been. I've always worried about opportunities. Like when opportunities stop, then I'll really start stressing.
Right.
Like when the phone stops ringing, like I'll really.
Well,
then
you've been touring recently too, right?
Yeah,
So
but
you're back to work.
But we'll get back to that.
Okay.
So the point is this, right? So I'm gonna go meet with Stu Fine. Now, what had just happened to Stu Fine. And I'm sure you don't know the story. You're going to love this story.
Mm-hmm.
Blue Cheese, the UMCs.
Sure.
They were broke.
Blue Cheese. UMCs. Shout out to Cool Kim.
Broke.
Okay.
Broke. And Kim, and please get on this show and verify this. Stu shows up to their house with a birthday cake on their birthday.
Well, whose birthday? Haas or
No, Kim.
Kim.
I think it was Kim.
Okay.
I mean, but this was a story that we had heard.
Right.
And please verify it because it's been verified about 100 times, but please be the 101st. He goes to the hood to deliver them a cake.
Right.
And they're like, motherfucker, we're broke.
Right.
Yeah, right.
The
Broke
fuck
you popping up
doing
with
here?
Betty Crocker.
Yo,
Yeah,
you Blue
They
Cheese.
wanted a check.
Yo, you telling us to be happy and happy dappy MCs. We're gonna make a fucking fortune. Bring us a cake. They beat the shit out this dude and threw him in a dumpster.
Damn.
No, they beat him fucking unconscious, threw him in a dumpster.
Damn.
Holy shit.
And this is the label I'm inheriting.
Yeah, right.
Like, the UMCs beat the shit. Like, it wasn't like Raekwon.
Right.
The
right.
Delphonics.
It wasn't like,
The UMCs.
with all due respect to Cool Kim, it's the UMCs, Blue Cheese. It ain't fucking Redman.
Well, I guess Stu Fine got one to grow
Yo,
on.
one to grow on, bro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to grow on.
Right.
Right? So I'm walking into that. I'm walking into that atmosphere.
Right.
And my reputation is pretty strong. And I'm a big sports guy. So I'm always like, oh, you come in and fix the underdog, and that's how you become a champion.
Right.
right? Patriots wasn't shit until Belichick, and then they took the
Right.
last guy from the draft was Brady. Last guy, right? Last shall be first. So I'm like, oh, okay. As I'm saying, okay, I'm going to take a look at the contract. A magazine article comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at the time, magazines weren't like, you did something, came out tomorrow.
Right. Months later.
Right.
Months later, usually 3 months was printing time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mike D is doing an interview with Russell. I don't know what magazine it was. You can find it. Rolling some shit. And Mike and I are now cool. So he says, oh, what's going on with Serch's next project? Russell says in the magazine, yeah, this shit sounds like trash. It's like some old New York shit. If he don't get back with Pete, I'm telling him he can keep it.
Wow.
But the problem is he never said that to me.
Right. That's crazy.
But it's on print.
So I'm like, there it is. The next day, Stu Fine offers me a job. And I said, yep, take it.
Wow.
Yeah.
3-year contract, no cut, 6 figures, plus commissions, plus bonuses. And I got OC signed.
Right. Was that your first order of operations? OC?
Oh, absolutely.
Right,
absolutely. So my whole thing, so there were 3 things going on at Wild Pitch that I had to, that was number 2. And that was really, I got to give it to Boots. Really shout to Boots.
Boots Riley, big
and
up.
Pam. And
Yep.
It came at the right time. Everything happened at the right time.
But with Boots specifically, like, I didn't have to do anything. Like, I literally had to just make sure he delivered.
Right.
And Boots did all the work. He did the videos. He directed them. All I had to do was service the records.
I didn't know that.
Everything. I mean, he did everything.
How long after all this before Illmatic hit now?
Well, hold on. I want to hear this.
Okay.
So I want to hear that too. I want to know.
No. So Illmatic was out
Right.
when I was the VP of Wild Pitch. I was in the street. Like, literally, that came out, and then I delivered Time's Up. And I had one of the greatest marketing campaigns ever. I had Cost and Revs who were killing the streets with Wheatback saying, who's OC? Ask Cost and Revs with a 718 number to a fucking answering machine.
That's dope.
Killing the street.
I miss those days.
Let me tell you something.
That's crazy.
That Wheatback paste is in the MoCA, the Museum of Modern Art in California.
Oh, wow.
They pulled the thing out of, it's in there.
That's crazy.
Like, shit was crazy. So, I felt like I had a lot of flexibility. So it was that. But then I opened the door one day because the security downstairs, that's why we also had to move our office. Security downstairs said, yo, there's some fucking weird kid throwing eggs at your office door. and I'm like, what?
You moved because of that?
They're like, yo, no. Trust me, it gets worse. No, I moved for some other reason. Trust me. We all had to move for another reason, which we'll get to. I go into the hallway. Cool Keith is throwing a dozen eggs at the door. And I'm like, I said, bro, they just called the cops. Get the fuck out of here. Like, whatever your beef is, like, we can talk about it. And by the way, I was in Keith's mother's house in the Bronx. Like, I would go to Keith's mother, Ultra Mag, like, Said G, TR-808. Like, I was in their cribs.
Yeah. Shout out to Ultra Mag. I love Ultra Mag.
I mean, so I'm like,
he's pissed.
Why? Yeah. And then, of course, Large Professor wouldn't deliver his record. And then I had to work on this Main Source record with Mike D. Mikey D. Mikey D was the MC.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to record What You Want.
Was that Mikey Devastation?
Mikey Devastation.
What you need is the
LL's man.
Yeah, and then those kids pulled a gun on Stu Fine in the office, which is why we had to move. Like, literally, their mom pulled a gun.
That's wild. Shout out to their moms. That's a crazy
and
move,
my wife was there 7 months pregnant.
Oh,
and she starts leaking from the stress.
The stress.
And Mikey D came in with the twins. Who used to run with Supreme, like Puerto Rican Supreme, like you snap a finger, they're breaking everybody.
Right. That's wild.
You know what I mean? And these two dudes were both twins, 6'8", 6'9", like and she's there with Melton. And it was crazy because they came in because when I took them to Power, this is the whole story. I took them to LA to do promos. So we're doing Soul Train with Don Cornelius. We're doing The Beat. And then we had an album release party with Ems and Ardone hosting it from The Beat, right? Because they were the perfect people for the new iteration of Main Source, right? With Mikey D. We pull up to this party. I got the program director and the music director from The Beat in my car. As I pull in, there's a dude as far away as you. He's got a Mossberg sawed off. And the band is across the street, and this dude's barking, and she's like, oh my God. I'm like, what are you getting down? He's not looking at us. Like, you don't need to be worried. But I'm keeping my eye on him, letting her drop down, but I'm not going to drop down. So he had some problem with the promoter or whatever. Mossberg, he runs away. We go into the party, everything's done. Main Source got it in their head that was a hit. That was a hit on that I put a hit out on them.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Sir Scratch and K Cut thought
that. And they had a manager and another dude, anyway, and then the mom. The mom literally pulled the 2.5 out of her underwear. I'm like, and she's about to literally, and like Stu is like, and he's like, and he literally bowed his head. Like he was like,
this is crazy wild, yo.
Like, and I'm sitting there going, and Chantel.
That's your wife?
Yeah, Chantel's in my office.
Is she the one you get the special thanks in your first album that you're going to make?
Everybody. She's in every video.
That you're going to make
38 years.
Honest woman?
Yep. Yeah.
That's her?
And, yeah.
Dope. Congrats.
Thanks. Appreciate that. Thank you. So they came in guns blazing. And I was like, you know what? I'm good. Y'all want off the label? Bye.
That was quick and easy. Yep.
Right.
Quick.
Yo, no problem. And Stu didn't really tell me what the problem was. Like, but I'm like, yeah, nah, they're whack anyway.
Right.
And then he's like, but he didn't tell me the business behind the music, which was we had 150,000 albums shipping.
Let me ask you what your relationship
that were pre-purchased.
What's your relationship with them today? Is it
none?
Is it healed?
None. First of all, there was nothing to heal. I didn't do anything wrong to them.
Okay.
I know there's a lot of controversy with Rappaport's Beats, Rhymes, and Life. I really enjoyed that documentary. I enjoyed the story and the interviews. I don't know what, I'm just not in the know enough to know all the behind the scenes because I'm living dad life. I'm doing other shit. But I enjoyed a lot of the Rappaport documentary. And it was dope. It was dope seeing Chris Lighty. It was dope seeing all those guys talk. There's certain sound bites they got that were fucking gave me goosebumps from certain people. And I thought it was fantastic, and, you talking about Tribe being one of your favorite groups, just seeing the footage. I understand there's probably politics behind it that people got upset or this or that, but seeing that footage was a blessing and a beautiful thing of seeing Tribe, seeing the performances, hearing the stories. And it's one of my favorite documentaries because of those moments. Like, I'll tell you one of the moments that Serch and I were talking about. I'll be vulnerable. I don't give a fuck. I came up when I was young going through a lot of difficulties, and I had to harden my heart. And there's a tattoo on me that says, make yourself ready, harden your heart. And the one thing that's moved me, and I don't give a fuck now because I'm 46, I got kids, I get emotional over hip hop. There's times where it's such my culture, it's such what I grew up in and gave literally everything to, that there are things that move me on an emotional level, make my eyes tear up. Certain performances I've seen, certain things I've been around for that give me an emotional experience because I love it that much. It's my everything. And the moment when Busta is talking about driving through Vegas and he hears, I think he heard God Lives Through. And he's talking about that record, and he's talking about he had tears in his eyes too. Those moments from that documentary just meant everything to me. Those were the dope things.
Yeah, I've definitely I have a different perspective just on that, and it's just based on the fact that I was watching it with Chantel.
Mm-hmm.
As we're watching it, Q-Tip calls me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was literally like out of the blue about something. And I said, oh, yo, perfect timing. and I called him by his government name. I was like, Kamal, just about to watch. He said, where you at? And I told him what part. He goes, yeah, that's enough. Stop it right there. It was like 5 minutes in.
Wow.
And I said, and Chantel said, what are you doing? I said, Tip said to stop watching. He's like, yeah, don't fuck with it.
Why not?
His claim, and I'm going to respect it because it's his claim.
Sure.
Is that Michael didn't honor his word. Okay. And that they were supposed to see final edit and they didn't get final edit. And again, I wasn't there, right?
Right.
So I can only share with you my own personal experiences with Michael Rappaport. I can see that because he's done it to me.
Wow.
That he's said one thing or claimed one thing, then goes back on it and then tries to bully you into saying, well, I can say whatever I want to say.
He's been saying a lot of inflamed things recently, too.
But I don't really, I don't care. Again, it goes back to what I told you. I don't care what anybody else says. It's none of my business. I'm not one of these guys who wants to have a critique or a cynicism about what the next man says. I don't got time for that. I'm not that dude. Like I'm not trying to be on fucking clickbait because I got an opinion on shit. I don't have opinions. At this point in my life, I have perspective. That's it. And if you want to agree with me, and I'll just end it with
I
this.
respect your perspective.
Right. And that's it. And that's it. And we disagree. But anything is none of my business. But for me, my personal relationship with that man, for him to do what he did to me personally.
Right.
Yeah, his name is now Do Not Answer in my phone. And that's it.
One thing.
But it doesn't take away from your experience, right? It's the same thing that, people comment about certain interviews I've done and they mention a certain interviewer and I'm like, please don't watch that interviewer because he did me greasy. I don't have to, and that's that. But I'll tell you, watch Drink Champs. I'll tell you, watch Math Hoffa twice. I'll tell you, watch $1 Million
Love the
worth
Math
of,
Hoffa one.
You know what I'm saying?
Love the Math Hoffa one.
So like, there's ones that I can co-sign, ones I can't. If Q-Tip tells me he can't co-sign the doc, I'm not watching it. Period.
The one thing that I've known for a really long time is you can film a lot of information and a lot of things, and through editing, you can control and change a story to be more compelling one way or another. So I'm always cognitive of that, and I was cognitive of that with the documentary. What I took away from it, though, was just the magic moments.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And that's the thing that I love about your perspective, bro, is that you didn't get caught up in the minutia of the he said, she. No, for you, it's about the purest.
Well, here's
it's
the thing,
thing
too.
that really touches you about the content itself isn't the minutia.
Right.
It's the moments.
Here's the thing, too.
Or as I like to say, you hear the message and get through the mess.
We've been doing this for so long. You've been doing this way longer than me. But relationships are relationships between human beings. And when you take us guys who start out as kids and we grow into men and we do business, we do life, all these things happen. There's shit that happens that has not a fucking single thing to do with the music that we listen to. And I feel sometimes those things should be kept private. So me, whether it's been me with Self-Titled or Vinny Paz or Esoteric or OC, we all have moments that are meant for us to discuss as men and go through privately, right? And for that movie, Q-Tip, Jarobi, Fife, I just feel like some of the stuff I didn't adhere to because I felt like I was in a conversation that wasn't meant for me. And there was information that wasn't meant for me. So like I said, just, 3 other times, I saw the performances. I saw a lot of the backstories. I saw Chris Lighty talking about Q-Tip being crazy with the album. I saw all these different things about, the reemergence of Fife. I saw these different interviews from people, and that's what I took away from it. The other stuff, though, wasn't for me.
No, and I get that. And again, I think that that's the beautiful part of how your perspective on seeing the beauty. Right? You don't have to necessarily cue into certain things that have nothing to do with you because, like you said, it's none of your business.
None of my business.
You really just are there for the beauty of what it means to be a fan.
Right. Absolutely. I wanna completely fucking shift gears. I want to go back to 1967, the year you're born. Okay. Another thing that's important to me, other than hip hop, is family, right? Like you're in all these interviews, and I watch all your interviews. I watch all that. Hip hop. How'd you do this? How'd you do that? But it's interesting to me how artists got. I know my own life story. It's interesting to me how artists got to the point where they got to. 1967. Where is MC Serch born?
I was born at St. John's Hospital, Far Rockaway, Queens.
Is that somewhere where your parents migrated, or are they from Queens as well?
So yeah, so my mother and my father were both from Brooklyn. My mother was from Brownsville, and my father was from Bensonhurst.
Okay.
My mother's mother came here as a young child, literally surviving the Cossacks and leaving Russia as a small child on a ship.
Did she ever share those stories with you?
Nah. By the time I had become friendly with my grandmother, she was a very old, very bitter human being.
Okay.
So we didn't really have a loving relationship. My grandfather also, at the time that I got to know him, was like suffering through pretty heavy onset dementia and Alzheimer's. So I was pretty afraid of him, So that was the Brownsville side. But the opposite side was that my grandmother in Bensonhurst was the most loving human being. My grandmother, Anna Barron, most loving, thoughtful human being, self-supportive. Her husband died at 56, my grandfather. She put 2 boys through college with a dress factory in her basement, a dress store. In her basement, I used to come on Saturdays and have to sweep the floors. So that was my job. I would, be there on Saturdays. So she put my father through the University of Alabama, and she put my uncle through I think it was SUNY Binghamton. Or he might have went someplace else, but both of them through this. So yeah, and then I would go to Delancey Street and go with her and buy dresses, and then she would, so she was the neighborhood, seamstress and dress salesman for bar mitzvah dresses and anniversary and weddings and stuff like that.
God bless, man. Those times and those generations and those people, it was about the community. It was almost like a beehive. They were just so focused on working. Nowadays, humans, I'm not saying everybody, humans are very focused on their own selfish experience.
Oh, yeah, no. But be clear about one thing about my grandmother, and I love my grandmother, and I can say this with all love and respect, is my grandmother was a straight pimp. She had Harry, her boyfriend, in the summer, who would come from Arizona, and then she had this guy across the street that so he would leave when it got cold, he would go someplace, and then Harry would come. And then and she would always say, "Yo, don't tell one about the other." I mean, she was straight about her business. I remember when my grandmother moved into her facility, like near our house, when she no longer could take care of herself, I would go play bingo with my grandmother. And I'd go knock on the door, and she would always say the same thing. We played 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. I'd come, "Hey, Grandma, how you doing?" "Hey, Michael, these men, all they want is sex. They keep knocking on the door. It's sex. Are we going to play bingo? We're going down to play bingo? Good."
What year is this?
You're going to play at Irving. This is...
the 70s?
I mean, this is... No. I just graduated high school. So this is 80, 85, 86, 87.
That's amazing.
Somewhere around there.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
That's
so I'd
funny.
ride my bike over there and so...
You have siblings?
Yeah.
How many siblings you got?
So I have a younger brother. His name is Larry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was it when you were growing up? What was your shit? Me, it was G.I. Joe's, Transformers.
Mm-hmm.
What were you and Larry doing?
Oh yeah, we had not only did we have G.I. Joe.
You had the big fucking G.I.
ones,
Joes.
the 12 inch.
No.
You didn't have those 3 1/4.
My parents didn't have money like that. No, we had the G.I. Joe 45-inch. The records.
Oh, okay.
45-inch, the records.
45
Yeah.
inch?
We used to listen to the records with the books.
Oh, that's ill. Yeah, the read-alongs.
Yeah, the read-alongs.
It'll tell you to turn the page and go boom.
Yep, the read-alongs.
Dope.
Yeah. So one of my favorites was and I wanted to use it so bad on the Cactus album, but we couldn't get it cleared. It was a 45 I had, and G.I. Joe, when he was saying goodbye to Cobra, he said, "Next time I'm gonna use some snake repellent." And I was like, "Oh, that's so gangster for the snakes." Snake, I was gonna use that on Gas Face.
Shame on you, Hasbro, not
Hasbro,
clearing that joint. Hasbro gets the gas face, bro.
Bro, next time I'm gonna use some snake repellent.
Speaking of the gas face, that was to Hammer. We all remember.
No, it wasn't to Hammer. No,
wait
not at
a
all.
minute. Wait a minute.
I remember it being Hammer gets the gas face.
No, he gets. It's.
What Hammer are we talking about then?
No. Hammer does get the gas face. What do we think about Hammer? Boo, right. Okay. But that wasn't he wasn't the sole person.
There was other people behind it.
P.W. Bolter got the gas face. The guy who was leading the whole South American apartheid movement got that. My man's girl Bertina got the gas face. Bertina got it so bad. There was mad people.
Yeah.
Hammer got the gas face because of his video Turn His Mother Out, where he said you ain't hitting in New York, and then had the fake Run DMC dudes in the video.
Oh, they dissed Run DMC.
You can't. Hammer couldn't.
Came back at for him.
Yeah, of course, because Jam
right.
Master Jay. I'm the reason I'm in the game is Jam Master Jay. The reason I am here with y'all is because Jam Master Jay heard me in the basement of Tony D's house. That's why I'm sitting at this desk.
That's dope.
Let me ask you something. Do you remember when the news hit about Jay?
Yeah, of course.
Devastating.
It was weird. So here's the thing that made it really crazy. I didn't believe it. It was one of those things when I heard it, I was like, yeah, nah, that's bullshit. And I didn't believe the source. So then I started thinking.
The source of the info, not the source of the magazine. Right. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I didn't really believe this. And then Bill Adler called me. Now, for those who don't know Bill Adler, he was the publicist at both Rush and Def Jam. And this is when I knew it was real. He said, "Hey, somebody from some company is going to call you with your sizes for your hat and your sizes for your pea coat. And here's where you're going to go get it for Jay's funeral."
Damn.
Wow.
That's when you knew it was real?
Oh, yeah. That's when I knew it was real. And then the next morning, this guy called me from the shop at Delancey Street. He goes, "Oh, who are you?" And Michael Barron. He goes, "Oh, what's your size?" And I went and got my Stetson, and I went and got my pea coat for the funeral. And one of the most thoughtful gifts I ever got for my birthday, my old business partner, who's from around this area, Cece, gave me, on the 1-year anniversary of his death, gave me his funeral pamphlet.
Yeah.
Framed.
Wow.
All 3
program?
pages. The program. Thank you. The program. Yeah. And it's one of my prized possessions. So I have it in my corner of my room. I have the Jonathan Mannion image of Jay's chain that he's buried in, the Adidas shell toe chain, and then his pamphlet, the program from his funeral.
When I was a kid, and I've told it's kind of similar to the story. My father was cool. My father was 17 when he had me, right? And my father and I were super close, very, very close. And he used to, when I was really little, hip hop hit me, and it was clear that it moved me right away. I'm talking about 4 or 5 years old. Okay, I was serious about it. I'd hear it on the radio, and there was a local DJ who was like our Connecticut version of Mr. Magic. His name was Doc 9. His name is Doc 9. I talk to him every once in a while. But a huge deal, and he would have to go to New York and buy all these records and bring them back to Connecticut and play them. But so my father would stay up with me at nighttime when it was getting close to my bedtime, and he'd record these on blank tapes to his radio show with me. And then I would have to go to sleep, and I'd fall asleep, or I'd fall asleep listening with him. And my father would continue to record it, flip the tape for me, record the other side, and he'd stay up. My father was cool as fuck. Great, amazing person. Some of his favorite hip-hop records later on down the road were Eric B. and Rakim the Ghetto because of the depth of it, Releasing Hypnotical Gases by Organized Confusion. He was my biggest supporter and had my back through what I was interested in. You know what I'm saying? And I remember he had this old school Barracuda, and he would play hip-hop, and he'd sit there and seriously EQ. He had one of those EQs in his car, and it was dope seeing my dad do that. You know what I mean? So anyway, the point of saying all that is my first 2 tapes that he bought me was License to Ill and Raising Hell. And Raising Hell, both of those albums mean the world to me still to this day. I go on hikes and listen to License to Ill, listen to Raising Hell. Huge, important. Run DMC in that time, like I say, hip-hop meant so much to me. Those guys it was more than just listening to somebody. It was more than just superheroes. It felt like your fucking uncles. You know, when Jam Master Jay passed, I'd never met him a day in my life. It rocked me. I was sick over it. Because, you know, growing up, that person was indelible in my life. And it wasn't like I had grown on to be so old and Jam Master Jay dies at 95. You know what I'm saying? He got shot. And it was
in his
wild.
studio.
In his studio.
By a dude that he knew.
Insane. But it meant that with the shockwave of that was crazy.
How about this? The dude that is involved in that killing Big D
is
the same dude that they sent to protect me in California against Hammer when he put the hit out on us.
Wow.
Damn.
That's wild.
That's how trusted he was, though. Big D was like, I mean, he's in Run's House video. Like, when DMC takes the hat off the dude in the video, that's Big D.
Didn't he just get charged a couple years ago?
Yeah, 3 years ago.
3 years ago?
Yeah, 4 years ago. There was a investigative report done on BET, and they were able to, I think, uncover it. But,
yeah, right.
Yeah, but
what was your first big moment? Like, was it being in a video or something like that? What was your first taste of getting through past the wall of just being a fan, being on the outside, to not even to stardom, but just getting in like, oh fuck, I was in the back of a Run DMC video. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah.
Do you remember what your first moment was of that?
I think that for me, when I knew I had made it, was the basement of Tony D's house.
Wow.
So I'd been bothering Grand Wizard Tony D from the Bad Boys for 6 months. I had gotten his number from this baddie, this Lourdes. Thank you, Lourdes. You changed my life.
That's a Puerto Rican name.
I wish I could have
Lourdes.
changed it. Dominican.
Oh, Dominican.
Oh,
okay.
I'm
just playing. No, just
DR, baby.
I had a Puerto Rican Lourdes
bottom
in
line,
the 90s.
yo, Olivia and Lourdes. Oh, I wish you would have let me change your life the way you changed mine. Yo, they were just gorgeous. But Lourdes was dating Grand Wizard Tony D and gave me his card, but scratched out the number because she wanted me to be the manager. She wanted to be my manager. But I just called information and said, hey, can I have the number attached to the Seagate Boulevard? And they were like, oh, you mean Tony Dick? And I'm like, yeah, Tony Dick. Tony D. Durr. They gave me the number and I blew him up for like 6 months. I went to his house and it was raining in the middle of April. I walk in like this dude's house and he's got this beautiful like brownstone, Brooklyn. And he's got like dope cars around it and all of this. And I go inside and we go through this long drive, this just hallway that empties out into this living room. And there's a kitchen. And there's like Grand Wizard Tony D is right there. Grandmaster D from Houdini, Jam Master Jay, and Lord Taru from the Eternal Force, who I knew from high school. Damn. I'm like, and they're like, yo, come in the basement. That's what she said, by the way. And I got this little gold watch on, right? That I got from my bar mitzvah. And I got this little gold chain. And I'm literally thinking that I'm like,
it's going to be
you're
the
gonna
end.
get robbed.
Yeah. It's
about
the
to get
end.
upset.
Yeah. I'm like, yo, 3 of the greatest DJs in the world about to rob me. Like, I'm
Quad
about,
City
right?
DJs?
And I've told this story, I'm sure, a bunch of times. But the bottom line is like, that was the like when Jam Master Jay leaned back, crossed his arms, and went, wow. If white boys start rhyming like this, we're over. Yo, I got to take you with and Davey DMX to Rochester and like rock with us. And I'm like,
that was your moment?
that was the moment.
Wow.
And Grandmaster D is like, no, I want you to come write for Houdini. And like Tony D's like, no, this is my artist. He gave me a contract and I signed it right there. Power of attorney gone, power of lawyer gone, power of signature gone. What do I care? Like, I'm protected.
Right.
Well,
He'll
check this
never
out.
hurt me.
When it's all said and done for me and my time is over, I want to be remembered as a loving man, a caring man, a good father, a funny man, a dedicated public servant. You've got a history, a hip-hop history, and a personal life. What do you want to be remembered for?
Father, first and foremost, good human being, good father, good friend, and, good MC.
Word. I met you the last couple of days, and I think you seem like an incredible dude, a real guy.
I really try my best, wins and losses.
You're genuine, and I appreciate you coming on the show, too.
I appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
I even put you in a lyric, and I don't even know why
true.
yet.
I
don't even know
appreciate
why.
that. That's pretty crazy.
Because he hasn't even taken me to a good meal yet, but I figure that's part of the runway.
I know
eventually.
I know good meals, too. You know that.
No, that's why I said it.
Yeah,
That's why I said it. It's very efficient.
Your
lyric.
first meal interaction with Al Mayo, he stole Fixer's cheeseburger from
Oh,
McDonald's.
don't
Damn.
tell my
Yo,
fans
you
that.
blew,
Oh,
damn,
they know.
you blew him up. You threw him under the bus.
They
Wow.
know.
Fix it,
Hey,
bro.
well, listen,
I'm
I
so
said-
sorry. You weren't supposed to know that,
The people
bro.
who know me, I said McDonald's was better than Philomena's, so there you know.
So here's the thing. One of my first famous people I ever met, because I was in Connecticut, and she was part of a local college TV show called Black Watch, and they played hip hop videos, and it looked just super rudimentary, which I loved. It looked so dope because it was just so, like a local. What are those called? Just cable
Video channels.
Right? Yeah, video channel, local cable network. Her name, her DJ. Now there's a tie to you in this. The DJ's name is Miss Mary Mack.
Mm-hmm.
So do you know who Miss Mary Mack DJ'd for?
I don't know. Wait, Miss Mary Mack. Wait, I was going to say no off rip.
Boss. She was the second, because D was Boss's first
DJ, right? And then she became an MC, right? Miss Mary Mack.
And Miss Mary Mack. And I remember I was so gassed because Boss had just done a song for Mi Vida Loca soundtrack, Run, Catch, Kill.
Yeah.
Which is one of my favorite records. And Miss Mary Mack was in the video. And Miss Mary Mack was so fucking cool, man. Shout out to Mary Mack. She's still doing her thing, still DJing, still killing shit. But I loved Boss. Boss was fucking fire to me. Like, people were like, well, she wasn't real. Rest in peace to Boss. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
People were like, she went to Catholics. I don't give a fuck what she did. The records that were made between you and Def Jeff and Boss, Progress of Elimination, Recipe of a Hoe, fucking all those records.
I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck. Not a single fuck. Not a single solitary fuck. I don't give a fuck.
That album was dope. I remember that.
Diary of a Mad Bitch.
Yeah.
So the two records me and Todd Ray did was Diary of a Mad Bitch and I Don't Give a Fuck. One of my favorite moments on I Don't Give a Fuck was
like
Rap Pages was doing a thing where rappers interviewed rappers.
Yeah.
DJ Quick interviewed Nichelle for Rap Pages. And Quick literally said to her, I Don't Give a Fuck is one of my favorite choruses of all time.
That's dope.
So I was like, oh, of course it is. Fast forward, I see Quick. It was like at some event. And he's like, yo, to this day, bro. He's like, to this day, it's my favorite. So it's like.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, nah. And the thing that was dope about them to work with them is that they had already dealt with so much bullshit on what happened with Def Jam West and all that whole falling apart and them getting ripped off. Like, they just wanted to get it done.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they just wanted to get it done. They weren't in New York to fucking pussyfoot around. Like, they wanted to get it done. And we went to work. We went to work.
Let me ask you this. You've been in this career for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
What do you know now that you wish you knew 20 plus years ago? That would have helped you in any positive way differently or giving you a different spin on life, I guess.
No, that's a great question. But the one thing that honestly I say to my guys even now is classic shit breaks all the rules. That's the one thing I've learned over my career that has been consistent. That classic shit breaks all the rules. Everything I've ever been involved in that happens to be deemed a classic broke every conventional rule. Yeah. Went against everything that everybody knew as a wash, rinse, repeat maneuver, like all of that stuff. And then not only that, like things that we did became commonplace. So that's to me, like, so what I've learned consistently is like, allow the process to be just that. No one knows any better. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. It's not my business anyway. And classic shit breaks all the rules. I would not change a single thing about any of the artists I ever worked with, period. Nonfiction, I would not change a single thing. Perfect example on nonfiction. And me and Bill, we will disagree with this until the day we die. Ill Bill, Gore-Tex did not want Sabak in the group. They did not think he was dope. And I had multiple private conversations with Bill and Gore-Tex. And I'm like, guys, Sabak is dope. And I would go to Sabak and say, Sabak, whatever you got to do, step up, be a beast. Whatever happened between me and Bill, there's about 10 different stories. I know what the truth is. I know that there's people that claim they know the truth. They don't know the truth. The truth is, it's a very simple truth. But the point is, that group, I wouldn't change a single thing about that group. Because that group, I called it. I told Wendy Goldstein, I told David Geffen to their face. I said, nonfictions, they're the Ramones of hip hop. They're going to sell tickets for the rest of their lives. They're going to sell units for the rest of their lives. They don't need a hit. They're the fucking Ramones of hip hop. Understand what that means.
It's something I got to know, okay, as a fan.
You got to know?
Yeah, I got to know.
Okay.
I got to know. Who's the one of the things, like Wu-Tang had kung fu sound effects. Mm-hmm. You guys had great comedic sound effects. Who is that? You and Pete? Who's doing that? Who's bringing that in? Like Brooklyn Queens is a phenomenal example. Like who's using those samples, and putting those joints in there?
We've got some great letters from some Brooklyn boys.
Yeah,
they can only hit that. And that's Pete.
That was Pete.
Man,
right.
That was Pete on Brooklyn Queens. A lot of the like malted salsa, maybe that was Pete. You don't like anything about us. You don't like our attitude, the dress, the way. That was All in the Family. That was me. Some white boys don't play that shit. That was Daddy Rich.
Okay. You guys had classic.
Yeah, we all had really strange, obscure records in our collections, and we would always figure out how we would be able to incorporate. You know, like I had, you know, the Who's on Third, you know, What's on Second. Like I had that on vinyl. Like, you know, the Lewis and Costello, you know, Who's on First camp. Like I had that on vinyl. So, you know,
there was a group of junior high kids, and we all listened to you guys, and you fucked up an entire year for us because we would not stop saying, "But my balls itch."
Yeah, no,
we would not.
So I got to tell you something.
That was all the time.
So here's the worst thing about that
in
record.
school, by the way.
Yeah, we were obnoxious.
So here's the problem with that record. So Kevin Reynolds and Sam Sever are in the stew, and I walk in and I hear that loop. Bennett, 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 boom, boom, Bennett, 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 doom, 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 Bennett, Bennett, Bennett. That's all I hear. Boom, boom. There's no beat underneath it. It's boom, 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 Bennett, 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 boom, 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 Bennett, Bennett. Yo, I was high as hell. I ain't even gonna front. I was outside. I was chilling. They were in the stew. I was in the club. I was at the World, I think. I was high as hell. Boom, boom, boom.
You walked
Bennett,
in saying that shit,
Bennett.
huh?
No, they're playing it.
Yeah.
In Chungking. And I'm like, oh, but my balls itch.
Yeah.
Yo,
Just came, right?
and I said, yo. And I said, get me in the studio. And I'm cracking up. I can't even get through a thing. Oh, Peter.
That's funny. That's some funny shit.
So we put it out.
Yeah.
Yo, I didn't know Tom Waits really sounded like that. I didn't know the record In the River had a biblical meaning to him. I didn't know that record had significant emotional meaning to him, like about baptism. And yo, he went ham on us.
Word.
Sued us, took everything, 100% control composition. I saw him at an event. Yo, bro.
He wanted to
yo, I thought he was going to murder me, B. Yo, you ever seen Tom Waits? Yo, Tom Waits, he looks like the Crypt Keeper, B. Like, I was scared to death. I was in California. I thought this dude was going to do like some helter-skelter shit, B.
But he got all royalties?
Everything.
So he Steely Dan'd you.
Yo, straight Steely Dan'd me.
Damn.
Oh, my God.
Well, you had
and we didn't even get Steely Dan'd on No Static at all. We still kept half.
Damn. Well, you know,
that's who pulled up on.
Yo, bro, yeah, that's who pulled up on me, bro.
You had a lot of us brothers in troubles.
Yo, bro, I was scared,
line,
bro. I was scared.
That line, bro.
But my balls, Serch.
You guys know that went viral before things.
Oh
went
yeah,
viral.
no. I mean, we would
Isn't
get
he the
stopped.
actor?
We would get. Yeah, he's also an actor.
Yeah,
we would get stopped in the street, like. People would just go, but my balls.
Man, in high school, we were in trouble all the time.
That's got to be a shirt, bro. That's got to be a shirt.
I think it should be.
It's a great one.
Yo, shout out to Prime Minister Pete Nice, too. I love you guys so much, man.
Shout out Pete Nice. Shout out.
I don't want to hear, I love third base. Oh, we did a show in Connecticut. Yeah, I was sick. Yo, bro, like, let me tell you something. Yo,
get him,
third base.
I thought I had my Wu-Tang moment, though. I had my Wu-Tang moment.
So you come to Connecticut,
a real fan, like Grateful Dead. You should. I think hip hop fans need to learn more from fucking
Grateful
rock
Dead
fans.
And Fish.
Yo, for real, like you claim your fans. Here's the difference. And this is a really great wrap up. You know that the difference between OG hip hop fans and OG rock fans?
What?
OG rock fans say, I'm a fan. Y'all say, I was a fan.
Yeah,
I used to be a fan.
Yeah.
Not me.
No, you know what? To our normal friends and family, you mean?
I used to love you, Serch. I used to love you back in the day.
They do that all the time.
What, you don't mean you don't love me now?
No, that's not me.
They seem like they've outgrown hip hop.
Yeah, but that's the whole point. Like, rock fans don't ever outgrow their fans. They don't. Yo, they rock with them forever.
I've said this a million times.
Stop being fickle. Just stop. Here's the thing. If you don't think about me when you don't see me, don't say nothing to me when you see me. Keep it moving. Mind your business. I'm good. You don't have to show me respect. Like, for real. Like, I'm good. You don't think you're doing anything for me. But when you say, yo, I respect you, King, that's for you. Right. I'll respect you, but like what you think of me is none of my business. I function my life like that. So as much as I honor and respect people that come up to me, like, you're not doing that for me. Don't think I need that to validate my dopeness. Don't think I need you to give me a pound to validate what I've done. I'm good.
Word up. No, that's good.
That's real.
Just give me a pound and ask me, oh, you good? Like, yo, what's up? Nice to see you. Don't give me fuck all. I'm a human being, bro. My name's Michael. I'm fucking from Far Rockaway. Right. I like decaf iced coffees.
You know,
3 Splendid, 3 cream.
I told this to you yesterday too. Being a super fan of hip hop, being friends with you, being friends with Monch, being friends with OC, being friends with Preem, Pete Rock, it's crazy because I know you guys as humans now, right? And I'm very well aware of who acquaintances are and who are friends. When you guys are my friends now, it's fascinating that there is this whole other entity that's almost like comic book lore level as opposed to a Michael. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to a Pete. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to, a Troy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a different thing. It's surreal to me because I'll be talking to Monch. We talk for hours about life stuff, about existentialism and other dimensions. And then it's like, oh, yeah, that's Pharaoh Monch. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's a wild thing. It's a wild thing. And I get that too, man. And I'm classes below you guys. Like if this was viewed as high school and you be a senior and you guys are up there on that level, I'm like freshman level. I'm the younger brother from generationally. And I still get imposter syndrome. It's weird to me that people trip out that I've done some of the music I've done. So I understand what you're saying. It's a strange thing. We're humans.
Yeah,
I'm a fan, and I'm in the presence of two legends. Let's keep it real. That's dope to me.
Yeah, I think for me, and I think for me, there was a time where it mattered more.
Right.
I think the more time I realize that I have behind me than I do in front of me, the less it matters.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I appreciate the fact that I can be here today. You know, one of the things I realized a couple of days ago, I was just talking to my kid brother about this. My experiences today are based on the fact that I've never been here. I've never been this age. I've never been where I am today. You know, this is a new experience. I didn't do this yesterday. I didn't do this 3 days ago. So I have a choice. Like, I can come in here either with an ego, right, and say, you know, and accept all, but, or, what would it be like if I just came here and listened, right, and just expressed my experiences as a human being, right, that, okay, I had this great experience where Nas trusted me enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had this great experience with Omar Cradle and, you know, and these guys trusted me and Mark Echo trusted me. And like, but it could have went the other way, you know, and I told you this yesterday. If there was no hip hop, I know what I'd be doing and I know how I would meet you. And it would be like, oh, hi, welcome to Nordstrom. Does your girl want a 7 or an 8 and a brown and black? Bro, I would be the greatest shoe salesman ever. Right. And I would have a baddie and I would live in a 3-2 in a cottage and I would barbecue and complain about football and, you know, and but that would be my life. Hip hop afforded me a life that I can't even possibly imagine, that even I'm performing for the first time in 35 years in Detroit.
Yeah.
Like, that's insanity to me.
That's dope.
That, you know, that all of these opportunities are now back because the fans, without them, there's no us, right? Without them, there's no me. So,
Let me ask you this.
So that's the best part of it.
Before we wrap this up, anything, I want to ask you this because we ask everyone this.
Right.
Your top 5. What is your personal pick?
Oh, I mean, that's easy. So Rakim, greatest MC of all time. There has to be a Jesus, period. There has to be a Jesus. There could be plenty of prophets, and Melly Mel is a prophet, and the Fearless Four are prophets, especially Tito, and there's plenty, but Rakim is Jesus.
All right.
Then everything after that is whatever. So Rakim is the greatest MC of all time, period. Number
Respect
2
it.
for me is KRS.
Got it.
Period.
Yep.
Number 3 is Chuck D.
Yep. Okay.
Number 4 is Nas.
Okay.
And number 5 is Black Thought.
Love this list.
Great
Love
list.
this list.
Yeah.
And it used to be Jay-Z is number 5 until Black Thought just spazzed out the last 4 years and just.
Right.
All right. Yeah,
I mean,
it's
but
dynamic.
but it's not only dynamic; it's the fact that his lyricism just ceases to stand still.
Right.
And every time he says something else, it's even more.
He's an alien.
When he said money's just a concept, never was an object. Even when my mother was living up in the projects, like, I had to pull the car over. Like, I had to pull the car over. That I can never say a Tchaikovsky record that he did with Ninth Wonder. That 215 record. It changed my perspective on what albums should be about. Like, it literally did. Like, it literally changed the way I saw artists making, like, complete conceptual albums.
Well, for you, your number 5 is my number 1. Jay-Z's my number 1.
Gotcha.
That's what it is.
And it's a good choice.
Black Thought, you know, I just did a top 5 and I was catching flack from people because I think it's an impossible task.
Well, here's the thing. It's nobody's business. And by the way, everybody's top 5
is
right.
Right.
Yeah,
Is
correct.
It's 100%
right.
Again,
Someone's going to say Eminem's the number 1 guy, and I'm
Great.
not going to disrespect it.
So
I respect
great.
it.
You know, good for you.
So here's the thing. I also told people that my top 5 constantly changes. All the time, my top 5 changes.
Oh, yeah, mine does not.
Okay, mine changes for sure.
Actually,
Mine
my
changes.
top 10 hasn't changed in like maybe 5 years.
Well,
Mine
I'm
used to
surprised because
fluctuate a
I got
little bit.
Biggie and Jay in mine.
Oh, there's no way big.
Mine go
For me.
Chuck D.
Right,
Chuck
see?
D will go on my top list, and then you know, maybe J. Rue the Damager, or maybe you know, Big Pun, or it has to change because I can't fit 25 people in the 5. You know what I'm saying?
But why do you have to?
Because it's how I feel about who I think is the greatest at the specific
but
time.
I'm just saying, but so then you're saying that your playlist changes, not the, so what I'm hearing, and this is what I'm hearing,
Sure, go ahead.
is that your playlist changes, and because your playlist changes based on what you're listening to, that affects your top 5. Because you might not go listening to J. Rue for 6 months, and then all of a sudden you get stuck on J. Rue, and you're like, oh shit, J. Rue is in my top 5.
Sure, I just think it's, once again, I think it's an impossible task. It is what I listen to, but I want to say real quick about the Black Thought thing because people gave me flack. Black Thought is easily one of my favorite MCs of all time,
without question. Without question.
He's up there. Yep.
During the pandemic, I'm talking to Monch, and I was like, just one day, I go, yo, you think you can get me in touch with Thought? Can you get him on a record with me? He goes, yeah. Hold on, I'll hit him. Hits me, and he goes, yeah, I'm down. And Monch told him a couple things, and so I send the record to Thought, and he sends me. I do my verse, right? Send him off the record with my verse on it. He fucking went way longer than me. He did 32. I was like, fuck, and he murdered it. And I'm like, well, I got to do 32 now too. So I did my 32, but it was incredible, man. And then Black Thought hits me and calls me, and he goes, I did this because Monch said you were one of the dopest MCs. And that was fucking crazy for me. That was batshit crazy to me that Monch said that to Black Thought. Black Thought told me that. He's like, I thought you'd think that was cool to know or whatever. But I was tripping out.
That's real dope.
Yeah,
that's dope.
That is a beautiful story.
That's dope.
That's really dope.
So I was tripping out about that. So shout out to Pharoah Monch for making that happen.
Yeah, shout out to Monch, man. That was a beautiful thing
Monch.
Shout out to Black Thought, one of the craziest aliens.
Anyway, no, shout out to you, Thought. I love you, bro.
But that's alien level. Guys like Pharoah Monch, guys like Black Thought are fucking aliens. Chino XL was a fucking alien.
Rest in peace.
Like, rest in peace to my brother Chino. All these guys, these MCs who are fucking.
Do you think that Chino, though, hurt his career because of how angry he was as an artist? Do you think he got in his own way because of his venom and because of his disdain for the business and the industry? I mean, you know him, so I'm only asking as a guy from the outside.
Maybe that's a tough one, man. I'd have to think. I'd honestly have to think more about that.
Please.
Things that are that deep. I like to
please.
To
I'd love when we break bread, we'll circle back on that.
At McDonald's.
No. I'm making steak. I think the one thing that makes the industry, right, is that you don't need to know anything about the music business to have success in the music business. All you got to do is make great music. If you make great music, the business will find you. If you make great music, the business will find you. And then it's your responsibility to find the business and the people that run the business. And I know this is not one of your favorite artists, but I really want to give him his propers on this platform because he's a newer artist, but I want this audience to understand that this is a newer artist who not only understands the business, but understands the business so well he'll be more profitable than most artists in the business. But shout out to Rob 49 and What the Helly and my man Hands Up Management. That man at 24 years old.
Who's that? I don't know who that is. Why'd you say I don't know?
Because you have no idea who Rob 49 is.
Oh, okay.
But Rob 49 is the hottest thing smoking right now.
Okay, no disrespect.
Record called, none at all. But that's what I'm saying. But he got a record called What the Helly.
Oh, what the hell? That's like the most viral shit in the world right now.
But the point is, he also runs the best business for a 24-year-old that I've ever seen in the music business.
So you think he's the next guy?
Man. Fucking salute.
No. But his whole structure is based on the music business. He made music first. Vulture Island was a monster, and then he sorted out literally and sourced out the best guy in the music business to be his manager.
How long has he been doing this now?
5 years.
Who's his manager?
Hands Up, Cedric Louis, Hands Up Management. And Hands Up Management, by bar none, best music, to me, best manager in the business. Because he studied from Lenny S., he studied from Craig, studied from Chris Lighty, may rest in peace, studied Mona Scott. Actually, the Hands Up is a tribute to Violator. That's what his logo looks like.
Well, in part 2, I want to know more about MC Serch.
That's
2025.
Fine. I think we need to make stakes.
Let's do that. Let's wrap it up.
Stakes. There's needs stakes.
Yeah.
Shout out to Leanne. Shout out to Leanne.
Leanne. Yo, that part.
Word up.
All right.
Yo, listen, I want to say right now, I just did a new collab with Northswell Clothing. We got the brand new Block Island Puddle Jumper Apathy hoodies. You know what I'm saying? You got to cop the, they're probably going to be gone by the motherfucking time this shit hits on
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Those on Serch merch. I need like some signed ones.
Let's do it. Let's get it popping. We'll get some Northswell shit popping on Serch merch.
I love that.
Great idea. Yo, I love you to death, man.
Yo, thank you.
Thank you.
Yo, I'm really, this record,
Yo,
this
we
record.
got one. We got one.
No. Mark the date, mark the time. I don't know when this is on, but mark the date, mark the time. Me and this dude, if this comes out the way I think it should, that's what she said, it's going to be a magic moment.
Thanks,
I get
Serch.
to witness it, so that's really dope, yo. I get to witness it live.
Yes, sir.
Off the hook.
Till 4 in the fucking morning.
I know, right?
Part 2.
That late.
Right, part 2. All right. God bless everybody. We up out of here. This has been the Shorecast.
Peace out, everybody.
Peace. Shout out to Fixer.
Woo!